Girls' equality in education benefits every child, despite evidences demonstrating how central girls' education is to development. Gender disparities in education persist. So, good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to give you a broader look into the topic gender differentials in education with the following content. Girls' education is heralded as one of the most cost-effective investments in global development. Investing in girls' education transforms communities, countries, and the entire world. Yet, large gender gaps exist in access, learning achievement, and continuation in education, most often at the expense of girls. Three-fourths of the children at the risk of never going to schools are girls. 16 million girls will never set foot in a classroom, and women account for two-thirds of the 750 million adults without basic literacy skills. Girls and young women face the most severe forms of exclusion, which are the result of several cumulative factors. They stand in the way of women and girls fully exercising their right to participate in, complete, and benefit from education. Among them are poverty, geographical isolation, minority status, disability, early marriage and pregnancy, gender-based violence, traditional attitudes about the status and role of women, socioeconomic status, place of residence, ethnicity, religion, and so on. Another obstacle to education is a lack of sanitation in schools across the country. Separated toilet facilities are important once children reach puberty. Without privacy and the facilities, they need to manage menstruation. Many children choose to leave schooling altogether. One of the major areas of concern is safety. The GEM report highlights that in Delhi, young women were willing to enroll in a college of lower quality if it was accessible by a safer route, says the Borkar report of 2018. Muralidharan and Prakash report of 2017 highlights that in Bihar, girls were provided with bicycles to facilitate access to the secondary school, which resulted in a 32% increase in their enrollment and a 12% increase in the number of those who passed the secondary school certificate examination. Besides all this, the presence of entrenched gender norms at the local level, combined with weak institutional capacity, can hamper the implementation of gender policies and strategies in education. So this table, curated by the UNESCO, summarizes the main obstacles to gender equality in education, which can be divided in two categories. First is education provision or offers, which are directly related to the education system's policies or schools, such as underrepresentation of female teachers, school-related gender-based violence, barriers to welcoming pregnant girls and young women, and the gender bias socially as well as in the teaching practices. The second category is educational demand, which includes the obstacles inherent in families, children, and society at large. Many studies are conducted to bring forward the statistics and data to understand the existing grave problem of gender differentials in education. Data shows that most of the approximately 6 million children not in school in India are girls. Census of India 2011 shows that the literacy rate among females aged 7 years and above is 65.5%. Mukhopadhyay and Sahu 2016 report stated the existence of 6.7% gap in male to female literacy rates. Barrowly Education Attainment Data 2010 says that 2010 only a fifth of adult women had no formal schooling and their average attainment had increased to 7.7 years. Worldwide, women are more educated today than at any point in history, but we are still not as educated as men. AC Nielsen and the NGO Plan India carried out a study that showed that 23% of girls in India leave school once they hit puberty. To address the challenges to gender equality, the United Nations has laid out both access to quality education and gender equality in its list of 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. UNESCO is guided by the UNESCO Strategy for Gender Equality in and Through Education 2019 to 2025 and the Gender Equality Action Plan. At the national level, Government of India has launched Right to Education Act as it affirms gender equality to be a core value of a democratic India and a social policy priority for the central government. To enhance access and retention of girls in school, India has worked through Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, that is education for all, by establishing schools at every kilometer of each inhabited area, giving free books to girls, providing girls-only schools and separate toilets and recruiting 50% female teachers. National Program for Education of Girls at Elementary Level and Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalaya are two focused interventions launched to reach out to girls with extremely marginalized social groups, lower castes and below poverty line. Several other schemes and policies have been brought up to minimize the gender gaps in education. The formulation of strategies to combat gender inequalities is not enough. Gender-sensitive educational planning must take into account the weight of gender norms and social roles in both process and content. To introduce gender into their operations in a systematic and considered way, budgets should strengthen gender sensitivity and mainstream gender within education administrations. Increasing the representation of women in senior positions in ministries of education can be another strong step. So to conclude, girls' education strengthens economies and reduces inequality. It contributes to more stable, resilient societies that give all individuals, including boys and men, the opportunity to fulfill their potential. By investing in girls' education, the lifetime earnings of girls dramatically increase. National growth rate rise. Child marriage rates decline. Girl mortality rates fall. Maternal mortality rates fall. Child stunting drops. Gender equitable education systems help keep both girls and boys in school, building prosperity for entire countries. So providing girls with the same level of education as boys can have a meaningful impact in the world. These are the references used in the formation of the presentation. Thank you.